Hello, my friend. Welcome back to More Sporting. Today we're going to talk about what it costs to paint your own lures. I get this question asked occasionally, and I just thought, well, it'd be nice if I put together a video so everybody has a really clear understanding about what it costs to paint your own lures. Now, I'm going to make an assumption here that you have all the equipment that you need, an airbrush, UV tank, that sort of thing. Just because there's a lot of decisions that go into those, and there's a wild discrepancy in cost for that. And it depends on how many lures you paint as to how much of that cost you amortize over each lure. So we're not going to cover the equipment it takes to paint with, just the actual painting of the lure itself. And for contrast, let's talk about these lures that I'm looking at. If you were to buy these retail, depending on which manufacturer you purchase, we're looking at somewhere between $40 and $80. And so keep that in mind, somewhere between $40 and $80 is what it would cost to buy these retail. Now, before we get into the actual cost of painting the lures, I want you to make sure that you watch till the end of the video, because that's where the punchline is. So make sure you watch till the end. That's going to be the best part. And please like and comment. I appreciate you. So let's talk about what the cost of a lure blank is. And this is a website that I buy a lot of my blanks from. It's called WLure. And WLure is a Chinese company, but they have an Amazon account. And if you buy from the Amazon account, it ships a lot faster. If you buy it directly from the website, then you'll end up waiting a long time to get the lures because they're coming from China. But one of the cool things about this site is that every single one of their lures, or the vast majority of them anyway, they have this really cool little video that shows you exactly what the action of every lure is that you might be interested in buying. So it's a really nice feature, and that's part of the reason why I like to purchase from them. They've got good prices and decent shipping, so it's a win-win-win. All right, so this is a square bill, and this is a really common lure, and this one's on sale for 60 cents a piece, which is really good for them. You can see that the standard price is $1.20, but we could get them for 60 cents a piece. Okay, let's talk about the paint. You can get the paint for about $9 for a 2-ounce bottle, and I estimate that you could get 13 lures out of that 2-ounce bottle, which would give us 69 cents per unit, per lure. Well, that's a guess on my part. Now, in this scenario, I'm going to assume that the eyes are included with the lures. They are about 50% of the time. You just got to look at what you're purchasing. Well, often the supplier will say eyes are included, but not always. Now, as for the UV clear coat, I totally guessed. I guessed that a $13 bottle, I could get 100 lures out of it. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I told you, it's just a guess. Okay, I know these are like the cheapest hooks you can buy from Amazon, but you can get 100 of them for about $15. So that puts us at 30 cents for the hooks. And then they got to be put on with split rings, and the split rings are about 15 cents for 2 of them. So that's rounds out our cost for the square bill at about $2 per lure. Okay, let's talk about the jerk baits. Now, in this case, we're going to look at the WLure website, and their jerk baits function an awful lot like the Megabass lures. At least in my opinion, they do. And you can see that the base cost is $1.40 a piece, which is really quite reasonable. But ironically, if you buy them in lots of 20, they're $1.10. So that would be $1.10. All right, so that's approximately our cost is $1.40, and then for the paint, I figured I'd use a little bit more paint, so I'll only get 7 lures out of that 2-ounce bottle, so that's $1.29 per lure. The eyes, they didn't come with the lures, we're assuming, so I put in 8 cents. They're 4 cents a piece, roughly. The UV coat, I figured, well, they're a bigger lure. We're only going to be able to get 60 of those, so that's going to be 22 cents. And then the treble hooks, there's going to be 3 of those, so we're at 45 cents per lure. And the split rings, 23 cents. Again, we need 3 of those. Maybe 4 if you want to put one in the nose. All right, so that's the difference that we have there. Roughly speaking, we can have a variance of about $2 a lure all the way up to $3.70 a lure, give or take. And now you can get lures that are a lot cheaper than 60 cents a piece, and you can get ones that are a whole lot more expensive than $1.40. But it gives you a rough idea of what it costs to paint a standard jerk bait, crankbait sort of thing. All right, well, I hope that helps, but that's not the real cost. The real cost is coming up. All right, here's the true cost. Yeah. So these ideas come into your mind. Do you think, oh, well, those are inexpensive. I'll just buy some of those. And then you start thinking, oh, well, I'm going to need one of each one of those colors, but well, what if I lose one on a log? I'm going to need an extra one. So I better get two for every color I want to paint. Well, how many colors do I want to paint? And then pretty soon you have this going on. You have boxes and boxes and boxes of blank lures that, that you then have to paint. And it is quite cool, but then you start to see those ones that are at the top there. The ones that got paint on them. Yeah, these ones. Well, then you have those, right? And now you have boxes and boxes of those because, you paint some of them and then you decide, I don't really like that color. And then you're stuck with them. And so I have probably 3 times that many boxes out in the garage as well that I take on my kayak. And then I have these boxes that I fill up as giveaways for the tournaments. So it's a never-ending cycle. That's a true cost. You end up making more lures than you can possibly ever use. Now, of course, if you start tying your own jigs, you end up with boxes like this. And I have a whole nother box exactly like that. These are just the backups. So now you know the true cost. You end up with more tackle than you could ever use in your entire lifetime, and you end up having to give it away. That's the true cost. Well, thank you, my friend, for watching to the end of the video. That's about all I have for you, but please like and comment as to whether or not you think my estimates were accurate. I appreciate you. Thanks.